part of this decade, high frequency trading was not even called high frequency trading. So after some traction there, we've been around for around the last 5 years. We started something in India which is called Two Roads. Two Roads largely is into high frequency trading and medium frequency trading on Indian and non-Indian products. What we are specifically CubeLum. Now CubeLum brings algorithmic trading, system trading, machine-based trading, everything which you hear as buzzwords in this industry to the normal retail investor. So basically, we are trying to get systems up for the Joe Main Street, people like you and I who are on the Main Street, who are not inside the terminals of big banks, to use whatever has been changing in the last 5 years in the domain of machine learning, etc., so that they can create wealth or use financial services as a utility. Before we go any deeper into that, let's just do a very quick pop quiz to get a sense of what exactly we are doing. So this is the graph of Nifty index between 2005 January and 2006 June. Right, the index went from around 2000 points to 3200 roughly on a closing basis. I mean, understandably, this is around 55%. Pop quiz question. So index gained around 50%. Just give me a number of what has been the return of the average Indian investor during this time period. So this is a 50+% growth in the index. How much do you think the average Indian investor will be, retail investor? It's like a very random number to throw. I mean, percentage return, some figure. 10%, 0%, 20%. Less than 10%. We have an answer. What about it? Sorry? 15%. The lady in the back.
Sir, I have thought of that.
Any random number. Nobody is a vet. Trust me, I have no clue what I'm talking about. Okay.
So,
So
because the rough idea 20%?
20%. Okay. So let's look at the actual answer. Retail investors lost around 8,376 crores at that time. Right? We are looking at a bull market where people made printed money by the looks of it. Right? Funny part, in India there were around 2 crore demat accounts with ICICIs and Indian Finance of the world. 10,000 of them were not in loss. So I mean to say that if in 2006 or since inception there were 2 crore accounts in India, at the end of 2013, which is when we recovered from all the bad times, etc., 10,000 of them were not in loss. Which basically means that if I invested 100,000 rupees in India in 2005, and at the end of 2013, if I'm still 100,000, they are counting even that as a no loss. But by the opportunity cost of time, etc., that's a 50% loss, right? The reality is, nobody who's trading with his own intuition, gut feeling, news, मुझे लग रहा है market जाएगा, etc., is not making money. So if your uncle next door has told you that he made a killing in stock market, he is bluffing. Call his bluff. I mean, you know the odds of this happening to be true, right? So then we might think that there are mutual fund managers, great investors of our time, who have done remarkably well in the markets. 90% of actively managed funds have failed to beat the market. So I really wonder what am I paying my mutual fund manager for, right? I mean, frankly, why are you paying a mutual fund manager around a 1.5–2% if 9 out of 10 of them are not beating the market? So this is our problem statement largely to begin with. We for a fact understand that nobody can make money in the markets. And this is not an exaggerated statement, we mean every bit of it. If you are trading as a human being, it is simply impossible to make money. And we don't mean to say that we can't make money. I'm actually going to go one step ahead and make a positive statement that human beings are programmed to lose money. Like we are incredible at losing money. That's our genetic wiring. We'll come to why that is. In fact, if you want to build a better trading system than anything which exists right now, pick up orders of normal people who are trading on any exchange in India and do the reverse trade. You'll actually make a killing. I'm not kidding you. We actually tried the possibility of making such a system 2 years back. That didn't go well with the regulators. So okay, so let's just do a live experiment, right? I mean, I need some volunteer from this crowd. Anybody. I'm just going to call anyone. So okay. So actual money, real money. So I can give you 100. So since you came in possibly the earliest along with him, I can give you $100 right away, right? You can keep that. Or, so this is yours. You have 100 rupees. I'm going to give you 100 rupees. At the end of this meeting, you're actually going to give you 100 rupees, right? For keep that money, or we'll give you a bet. There's a 10% chance that you might walk away with 1200 rupees. And there's a 90% chance that I'm going to take the money back. So are you going to keep the 100 rupees or are you going to take the bet? Okay, fine. So, fair. So we'll do the bet actually. Can somebody do this bet? So let's say, okay, just generate a random number between 0 and 100. If it is above a certain number, we'll give you that 1200 rupees. We might give you 100 to definitely. And so let's assume that you won. Okay, for simplicity's sake. Now, for some reason, let's pick up Thiru for the next bet. Thiru works with Qplum mostly because in case this bet is going to go wrong, or if for me, I'm actually going to take it. But Thiru, for real, okay, I really got this. I mean, I know this is slightly incredible, but I have 100,000 bucks in my pocket. No, I really do. Like, Friction, if you can verify this 100,000 bucks in my pocket, yes or no, nothing else.
Yes.
This, it's a written 100,000. Like for real, I do. I've seen it. Yeah, I really do. Okay. There are two options. Either I give you the 100,000 bucks right away. I'll give you right away. Unlike him, I'm going to actually give it right away. Or we can repeat the same bet with a 10% chance that you are actually going to make 12 lakh bucks or nothing. 90% of nothing. What would you do? Now, for making things interesting, I'm actually going to give you that. Like, I'm going to pick it out from my pocket and give it to you.
I'll take it.
You take the 100,000 bucks.
No, I'll take the bet.
You take the bet of 12 lakhs.
Yeah.
So 100,000 bucks mean nothing to you. I mean, most probably you're going to lose it all, right?
What's the odds of losing?
10 and 90. So 90, you'll get nothing. There's a 10% chance that you'll get 12
Okay,
lakhs.
I'll take it.
You'll take what?
I did not think about the odds before.
Zero. It's all yours. It is actually 100,000 bucks. It's only Indonesian rupiah, but worth much less. Anyway, the point is, okay, so I'm going to just run you through the math of what happens here, right? If you actually look at the math of this is what the odds were looking like. Ajay, for example, had a positive expectation of 120 bucks. Like there's a 10% chance that he'll win 1200, 90% chance that he'll get nothing. And Thiru over there had 120,000. I mean, if we are both rational people, if we don't care about where this is going, ideally both of them should have taken the bet. But Thiru did not take the bet, and he was rather happy doing 100,000. Thiru, why did you do that?
Because I'm giving a lot more without any risk.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is exactly the point. So the point here is very simple. He simply didn't want to lose that 100,000 which he was anyway getting. Whereas for him, the 100 bucks hardly meant anything, so he was ready to gamble. So there was something which the worth of the money or the fear of losing or some hardcore thing which Thiru did differently because he was fundamentally afraid of losing money, right? So the real reason for this is what many people in behavioral economics call disposition effect. So it's like this. So I'm just quoting Billy Bean from Moneyball. So he hates losing more than he ever wanted winning. That's exactly what Thiru did. Whereas for him, it was an easy choice. He acted rational because the money meant nothing. Now think about people who are betting their life savings on stock markets. All sorts of emotions are going to mess up their thinking. And of course, there's another thing which is a real reason for people also losing money. If they had 10 good streaks, then they're going to overbet on the 11th one, and they might just get wiped out. These are just two things which we wanted to highlight among the many 100 odd things why humans are bad to trade and why people like us exist, right? This is supposed to go. It's for some reason.
Space down. Sorry, down. You can't. Space.
Hi. So this is the answer which we have, which is to take humans out of the picture, right? So what we do fundamentally, what Qplum does is strategic investment. Now strategic investment simply means that you are doing rule-based trading. So rule-based trading just means that you don't go by what you think is going to happen. You first write down the rules. These are the rules. This is how I am going to trade. This is my buy order. This is my sell order. It could be any rule. So simply, if I'm going to write it down, I'm going to buy when market goes up 3 consecutive days and sell when market goes down 3 consecutive days. This is actually going to outperform a human. Simply because going by the same logic of we are wired to lose money, and this does not seem like anything, right? This might have 50-50 chance. 50-50 is still better than a human who has like a 100% odd chance of losing money. I will still sell on all Fridays. It's a reasonably good strategy. You can keep on doing it. Sell Friday morning, buy Friday evening. There are people who have made printed money with this. I'll buy on open and close when pigs fly. It's a rule. It's a rule. If I do that, I might just make money. Again, there is strategy for sizing logic. I could say that 50% in fixed income, 30% in equities, 20% in real estate. It's again a sizing logic. It's a rule that I'm going to write. This is what I will do. And you will religiously hit a buy order, religiously hit a sell order. We are training algos to do this, largely in our roles here. So there are many styles of doing this. I mean, I'll just give a brief overview of what these styles are and how they work. Partly because, yeah, it's slightly boring in detail, and mostly because Sanchit will be a better professional to speak about it. So, fixed investment style is something which we do, which is 50-50 in equity stocks, 30-30-40 stocks, bonds, real estate, 40-40-20. There can be many proportions. We do it. So, this is one of the offerings we give to US investors, that if you have a particular proportion, we'll manage it for you. They don't have to do anything. Another thing which we do is trend following. It's very simple. If something is going up, we buy. If something is going down, we sell. It is fairly interesting now that you think about it. Everybody told you buy low, sell high, right? But if you ask any actual stock market trader who's worth his salt, he'll actually say buy high, sell higher, sell low, buy lower. So that's how exactly it works. Nobody does this buy low, sell high. It's something which you just hear in advertisements of brokerage firms. Risk parity is another thing which we do, which is basically if we have 100 products, we spread out the products in such a way that all of them contribute equally to products. Another thing would be contrary investment, which is like everybody is wrong, I'm right, so I'm going to do exactly what the opposite of market is doing. So these are things which were traditionally being done by large financial institutions. We code it up into our algos, size it down to a retail investor size, and let an algo manage all of this for an investor. So what we are doing better, generally we give something called alpha. By alpha what you mean is this. So if there is index, there is Nifty grew 10%. Beta strategy, all your mutual fund, anything which is generally available to us right now is a beta strategy. It will give roughly the same market return, perhaps 9.5, perhaps 10.5, but largely it is beta, which follows the market. Alpha is basically you outperform the market. So if market is giving 10, you give 15%, that 5% extra is called our alpha. Something else which we do is risk management. That is, when market starts tanking, we actually start emptying our positions. This is fairly interesting because, so I'll tell you why exactly this is interesting and how this outperforms conventional fund managers and any other products or even your own judgment on investing. If people buy it, let's say a stock at 100, right? And it starts tanking, most retail investors would hold on to it thinking, okay, 90, perhaps it will go up. 80, yeah, it has come down so much, perhaps I should buy more. Goes down to 70, I have held on for so long, now so I have to hold it. It goes to 50, then the question is, how do I sell it now? It's gone down so much. What we do is, the moment markets start tanking, we step by step start getting out of the position. So let's say your portfolio was worth $100,000 today, it tanked down to 90,000, we start emptying 10% of the securities we have in our portfolio. And all of this happens stage by stage, system executed without any human intervention. So we don't hold on to anything which is loss making and make sure that something which does not have any emotion comes into picture and empties it. Another interesting thing which we do is execution, which of course QLeap or a couple of people in the team do as their day jobs. It's very simple. So now you know for a fact. So let's say that there are two parts to this, right? One is deciding whether to buy or sell. The other part is, okay, we have a decision, now what do we do? So let's say you had to buy a Tata Motors at around 490. And there is a clear signal that, okay, we have to buy this thing. Now the question is, where do you buy it? right? I mean, that's actually a significant question. If when you decided that you had to buy, it was market close and it was at 490. Next morning it opens up at 495. Do you buy at 495? Are you going to wait till it comes back to 490, or are you going to take a call that I'm going to get it at 480? So I'm going to place an order at 480 and wait till the end of the day, and I know for a fact that this is going to happen. If you look at it objectively, this is actually a 3% difference in your execution price, right? If your market opened and you bought at 494, that would have been 4 rupees above your actual buy price. We are actually bringing it down 3% lower. Imagine if we do this for every other security in your basket, day on day, you're actually looking at significant returns when you start compounding it. So this is the third part of which we do, which most of the others in the business haven't started doing this part. This is slightly predictive, this is slightly, you could call it speculative, but this is something which we do. The fourth part is basically, so if I bought something last March at some price and I'm making 30% on it right now, if I sell it before the end of this year, I have to pay a large capital gain tax for short term. If I wait for 1 more year, my tax bracket comes down to 15%. Similarly, I might want to book a trade at a loss so that it offsets profit against some other trade at profit, right? So all of this kind of stuff is done by tax optimization. These are 4 pillars which we do differently at Q4. So then the obvious question is, so what sort of computational power are we looking at? How complex are the operations which we are doing? So again, this is like, whenever prices bill above a 200-day moving average, buy. I have a signal. So this is an indicator I have, right? Or I say, whenever the price touch the previous all-time high, I'll sell again. Or when you see a bullish Harami, that's actually a word that exists. This is called a bullish Harami. I'm going to buy this. And I could have a simple logic like when future is less than spot in equity, I'm going to buy the future, sell equity. Or when you see a rising price, there can be hundreds of thousands of. The only problem here is we have around 8 major currencies, 20 odd bonds, and 500 stocks to keep track of. And you're going to do buy and sell orders for each of them. And they're all going to be weighted. So your portfolio is going to be 3% equity, 10% currency, and these signals keep changing during the day. This is some kind of an indication of what sort of computational complexity we are looking at. And there could be minor mix and match of these signals. So there could be a 200 EMA breakout in some security, but then it is at an all-time high, but then you saw one of these things, and then you saw a rising triangle. Now put all the input together, what is it? Is it a buy or a sell? I don't know. So I'm possibly going to look at the previous historicals that this worked 60% of the time, this worked 70% of the time, this worked 50% of the time. So all of this goes into the signal generation input and finally tells me a buy or sell and for what kind of money. Now, how we do it is something I have no clue about, which Sanjay will explain.